So the first step in setting up your waivers is you'll want to update the main template. So to get here, we went to Settings and then click on Templates. So then locate the waiver template under the Content Pages section right here and click on Modify. So here you're going to want to enter the content that should always be included in the waiver for all of your inventory items. So it's just standard content across the board. Additional waiver content can also be customized at the inventory level, which we'll review next. But as you can see, default content is loaded, but this really should be customized to meet your own legal requirements. So what you can do is click on Save Progress when you're editing. That will just save and you can keep going. Or once you're done, just hit Save and Close. So once you're done that, you can enable and configure your waiver for individual inventory items. So until you actually do that, this template won't be used anywhere. So you'll definitely want to turn it on for the inventory you want. So we'll select which one. We're going to add it for our kayaking tour in this example. So click on the item and click on Edit. And then scroll all the way down until you see the Use Waiver toggle. So here it is. So in this case, it's turned on. So this is what it looks like when it's off. So just make sure it's on. And then you'll select whether you want this to be one waiver per order. So that means one signature for the entire order. Or if each group member needs to fill out a waiver individually. So make your selection there, and then you can enter the content here. So remember that this content is specific to this inventory option only. And so once you're done, you can click on Save. So there's one more place that you can configure your waiver, and this is for per guest waivers only. If you go back to Settings and Custom Fields, here we can enter additional fields that each guest needs to fill out when they're signing their waiver. So first you'll want to select Waiver Field. You'll want to give it a name and then select the type. So short text or large text area, so they just have a free form field where they enter information. In this example, we'll use a drop-down menu. So we're going to give them choices to select. So an example could be, are you 19? Or the legal drinking age in your area, or any kind of question like that. So the options we're going to give them is yes and no. So we'll click yes, and then a comma will separate your options. Here you can toggle whether this is a required field or not. So we're going to make this required. And then click on Create Field. So once this field is created, it will be included on your waivers in which you collect signatures from each group member only. And then in the next video, we'll go over the difference between per order and per guest waivers. So when you set up your waivers in each inventory item, you have the option to select a per order or a per guest waiver. So per order waivers only collect a signature and no other specific guest details. And these can be signed on tablets or on a screen for point of sale bookings or during the checkout and the front end bookings. So we'll just have a look what that looks like in each method. So we're going to go to a booking here that's made from the point of sale. So to view the waiver, we're going to click on the order number here. And right here, you can see whether the waiver has been signed or not. So here it says sign order waiver, which means that we do still need a signature. And once you make a booking in the point of sale, the per order waiver doesn't actually get sent to the guest directly for them to sign it in advance of the tour or activity. So if the guest is in front of you when you make this booking in person, they can sign the waiver on a screen or a tablet right there at the time. Now, if this was a phone or email booking, you can collect the signature when they arrive on the day. Again, this is done on a screen or a tablet. So if you'd like a bit more information on using certain compatible signature tablets to capture these signatures, we do have some more details on our support site, or you can pull up the booking on your phone or iPad with the Rezgo app, kind of like we've done right now, and the guest can sign on the screen this way. So it also can be captured using a mouse on a desktop computer. So we'll click on it here, and you can just click on Sign Waiver. So we'll just kind of sign this now, like this, save, and then you'll be able to see that the status has now changed. Now, when a customer books on the website, they must sign the waiver before completing the payment. It is a required field. So here you can see the order page on the website, just an example, and this is at the payment page. So the guest cannot move on until they actually sign this waiver. So they are prompted to do it right now. So they'll click on it, and you'll notice a little red circle. This just means that they need to scroll all the way to the bottom before they sign the waiver. Once they do that, they can sign, save it, and be on their way. So if you have a per guest waiver enabled, the customer does not need to sign it in order to complete their web booking like we saw with the per order waiver. So on the checkout page, there won't be any prompts to sign a waiver in order to continue with payment. They can just fill in all their details and complete the booking here. But instead, the guest can sign this waiver directly from their booking receipt or through an email link after the booking's already been completed. So it would come to them a little like this. So this waiver will collect a signature as well as each guest's name, email address, a phone number, and a birth date. So when a customer makes a booking on the website, this receipt link gets sent to them automatically after the booking's completed. But with point of sale bookings, we do need to send the notifications for them to receive this. So we have a booking here. Our kayaking tour does have a per guest waiver enabled. And here I can see that the waiver signatures are still needed, but I've also not sent them the notifications yet. So we can click here to send the notifications. Or if we go down to the group details here, you can send them to each guest individually as long as there's an email address attached next to each of these names. So once the guests receive the email to sign, again, they'll see a link that will take them to this page right here. They can click sign waivers, and then each person can sign their own individual waiver. So if we scroll down a little bit here, we'll see that they can select if they're signing this waiver on behalf of a child. And at the bottom, you'll see this is that custom field we added in the settings. So one thing to make a note of is if you've set up your inventory options to only collect an email address from the main billing contact, which is in this section right here, they're the only ones who will receive the link, and they will then need to forward it to all the guests who can enter all their own details in. But if you've collected email addresses from each individual guest, right now we don't have it filled in, but if they had email addresses here, the waiver would be emailed to all of them individually. And then once each passenger signed their own waiver, you'll see a status change next to their name. So we'll go to another booking to see an example of what this looks like. And here you can see all waivers are signed. We scroll down. And here, signed and a timestamp of when it was signed. Now, if you'd like to pull up a list of bookings for a particular day, just to see who has signed, who has not, if we go to the daily manifest here under bookings, and select a date you'd like to search, and here we can see neither of these guests has signed it, but we can click on this little gear and send it to them. Now, if you're ever having trouble with anything in your Rezgo account, you can always click on the help button here and a list of support articles will show up. We're on the manifest page, so we've got all support articles referring to that. But if you're stuck and you have questions, please just feel free to contact our support team or our customer success team, and we're happy to help.